Lloyd Vehicle Consulting. Still not sponsored by Lancaster Insurance. Maybe one day. Good afternoon. Today is the 23rd of March, which is part 8 of the started Shambolic Shuffle around the 2024 Practical Classics Classic Car and Restoration Show here at the NEC in Birmingham. We're in Hall 5, I think we finished all the other halls, so it's just this for the next couple of days, but it's a big old hall, this one. Very lovely Renault 19 Azure Cabriolet here, very original looking actually. This one's got the leather interior. This is an automatic. I imagine it'd be a 1.6 auto, but I could be wrong. The information sheet on the edge is the brochure for the time, but M registration would suggest 1994, 1995. Facelifted 19. It's actually really nice. I really like that sort of thing we'd like to test on the channel, but it depends if somebody actually offers me a car like that. Midland 7 Club stand here, modified 7, Austin 7 SpeedX, designed by Jem Marsh. I remember Jem Marsh. We registered in 1949, but bits from 28, bits all the way from 53. Obviously the first Lotuses were modified Austin 7, just like this, as were loads of other cars. And then you can upgrade your 7 to be a bit better in terms of modern motoring by fitting things like LED headlamps. Excellent. And then there's an original spec one here as well. Wonderful. Next you've got the Sunbeam Alpine Owners Club. Wonderful. That is a Series 4, 1964, before the 1725cc engine came in. So a bit of work done there. Another Alpine Series 4 here. 5 series in total, the last one with the 1725cc engine. Again, it also 64. This is a much earlier one, this one. This is a Northern Irish plate as well, KZ. Series 3. On some mini light wheels, which look good on a lot of cars. Big stand actually, the Alpine owners have. And that is for 1725, it's Series 5. Finished in 67, that's a 66. And this is my favourite colour for them. Sort of green with a hard top on, but is, yeah, right at the end it's a 67. One headlamp missing. Norwich Classic Vehicle Club is next. And we've got an MGA, because of course we do. It was one for sale. If Mr. Bill from the Fuel Power channel says, this could be yours. Phone Chris on 07975 907 762. Built in 1960, it's a 1600 this one. It's one of the sort of later ones. And then we've got MGF, because of course we do. TT Blue, yep, 1998. And then this looks very familiar. Beautiful Metro owned by Neil, who's just in the background there. Got some MG Metro wheels on it. It's one of the cars that's been showcased at the NEC before actually, in Pride of Ownership. And you can see why. A bit later, Rover 100 GTA. It says it's a Metro GT on there, but it's not. It was called a Rover 100 in other markets after 1990, but in 95, when this facelift occurred, they were all renamed the Rover 100, but a lot of people call them Metros. It just happens all the time. It's a 96. That one's the 1.4K series. GTAs always look pretty good. There you go, 114 GTA. And then we have I think this is a Hilton Super Mix. Yeah, Super Mix is not the Scepter or the Singer Vogue. It's a Mark 1, so that's 61, I think. Right, we better not talk about that one, viewers. We'll move on and talk about this instead. That's very nice, isn't it? 1994 Rover 220 GSI 3-door with the let's get this right. A T series in this, but it's the probably the non-turbo. Yeah, it's a non-turbo. I like RX viewers. I've owned 3 of them myself. And then we'll have a look at this SD1 red-lighted Vitesse 1986. I think this is Moonraker Blue, this colour from memory. I actually hope to have a test of an SD1 on my channel. I've wanted to drive one of these for years, and I've got one coming up soon. Rover 200 BRM with a 1.8 VVCK series. This will be sort of 99 2000, one of the later BRMs. We've got more BRM action here. This is an earlier one on a T. Doesn't actually say that particular car, but we've got the red leather interior that was standard over the normal 200 VI, and then of course the front end and the wheels, which look like Cosmos wheels from later MG Rover era. They first appeared on the BRM, and this is very early BRM. This is one of the, I think, press ones from '98. The S something WOM. Criminally kind of undervalued in their day because they just couldn't get rid of these. Like when Rover 25 came out in late '99, they were still selling these right up until sort of early to mid 2000s, where you see them on sometimes V plates or just even later than that, W's. Right, we'll try to be systematic about this and work our way around effectively. Ooh, Vitesse. Right, well, I'll start actually over here because this is a car that I've actually driven. This Rover Vitesse Sport. This is a 95. It's owned by Dan, who owns a lot of MGs and Rovers. I don't know where he is, but I have driven this. I drove it actually last year, and it was good fun. It looks even shinier now than when I drove it. So that's a facelifted 800. We've got a very late pre-facelift one. It's a 91. I think this is 95. I read this colour from memory. And it is an 820 turbo, which is a very rare specification. They've both got the similar engine in them actually. I think they're slightly different power outputs, but very nice. And then we've got a very, very late 800 here. This one is a 1999. I've seen them on 2000 plates, but production finished, I think, early 99 to make way for Rover 75. This has got the 2.5 kV6 engine in it, a bit early version of it. And then we've got something very close to my heart, a Rover 620 SLI. I have owned a 620 GSI and I've driven 3 other 600s, and they're pretty interesting cars. You can pick them up for not a lot of money, actually, if you don't need one that's in this sort of condition. That is rather nice. I like that. I like this one too. In fact, I like this one so much, you might have a sort of look down the side of it as well. Have a look at the interior. I wish it was beige, at least it's leather. Interestingly enough, the juxtaposition is the modern classic executive car club stand. Chris James down there, his Mondeo. I have had a car on the channel as well last year. But I quite like this 1984 Granada Mark II 2.8X gear estate. Like most of the Mark II Granada 2.8s, it has an automatic gearbox. At the very start of the series, in part 1, we looked at Mr. Coleman's 82 2.8 Gear X manual, Both of these will be on a carburettor. You can get fuel injection as well. This actually has, I think those are probably the standard wheels for the gear, but if that had the TRXs on it, they'd probably not be on the car because it's very hard to find tyres for them. Then lovely T72 Bluebirds. I've driven one of these and it was amazing. It was brilliant. 1.8 GS, which is the spec that I drove. This one's an auto. The one I drove was a manual. This is in 1989. The one I drove was in 1990, so later than this. Built up in Sunderland by this stage, a very early Bluebirds of this generation were built in Japan. Yeah, Bluebirds drive really, really nicely for a car of their era. And then we've got this Ford Mondeo. It has been modified, the suspension and wheels have been changed. Chris quite likes that. Hello, sir.
Hello, Mr. Lloyd.
Hello, sir. Yeah, it's a 99. I think that's a photograph from the day where I actually filmed it, which would have been at the Motorist up in Yorkshire last April. This has got a lot of extras on it: cruise control, air conditioning, heated seats, that kind of thing. And it's only done 61,000 miles from 0 to 99. It was nice and comfy, but yeah, it hasn't got the standard suspension on it, so it's a little bit firmer. Another type of car that I've driven before, although not this particular one, is this Jaguar XJ40. Handily out of this stand, they give you a very nice information sheet on each car. 87 XJ40 3.6. One thing I love about XJ40, I have driven one of them, which was for the £10 grab special, is the rear lights, which have sort of like purple shade to them. Absolutely amazing. It looks very good on these ball bay wheels. Well, they're not standard, but it looks good. I wonder if I'll own one of these cars one day. I mean, I like the facelifted ones better, but it's not that different really in many ways. So, you know, some people prefer the early ones like this. I wonder if I'll own one of those one day. Right, let's have a look at some very familiar territory. Some nice Rovers. So this one is an early 45 actually. It's a 2000. It's a 1.8 IXL, which was the high specification for the hatch at the time, I think. I have driven one of those. Drove it years ago. It was a black one. That one we can't talk about, unfortunately, viewers. We can, however, talk about this this SD3, this Vitesse 216 Vitesse, was having some sort of paint rectification and bodywork done to it. It's a 1987. My favourite of the SD3s is, of course, the 216 EFI Van den Pla, but I don't think there are any of those here today. If there are, then I'll be extremely excited. It's interesting, here on the Leyland Princess Enthusiasts Club, and don't call it an Austin Princess, just it's a Princess because that's what it was. They've got some very early derivatives of this shape. When the car first came out in 1975, it was called the 1822 series, and the top of the range model was just called the Wolseley or Wolseley Saloon. There's a made of two of them. They're very, very rare. Bear in mind, these cars were sold for just 6 months before they were all changed into a Princess, which was the mark rather than the model. This one is a shade of brown. I don't think you could get leather even in the Wolseley. I think it was all cloth. So they used the 2.2 E-Series engine. I have driven a Princess with that engine, which is a manual. I recognise this one from somewhere, but I can't exactly remember where. I've probably seen it before. But yeah, that one's a manual too. You get an automatic, of course, if you wanted one. This one looks particularly nice, actually. Yeah, that's beautiful inside. So obviously gone for some rarity this time. Let's look for some more British Leyland products. Again, another car that I've driven is this 1979 Austin Allegro 1500 Estate Series 2 Super, I think it was called. Alex reminds me that assets is somewhere around here. She's doing some work on it. I don't know where she's gone off to, but she's around here somewhere. Belongs to a chap called Graham. And I actually drove this down at the Lego Club International Spares shed, which is in I think Herefordshire actually it is. which I enjoyed very much. I mean, I obviously have driven the Van den Pla 1500 more recently. I enjoyed that too. Very early Allegro, this one on an L. You've probably seen this before. It's got the Cortex steering wheel. Only the very early Allegros have that. I think it was up to like mid to late 74. This is a 73. It's a very, very early one. Let me move on to the later one. Actually, no, this is also a really early one, which is a Series 1 too. It's just sort of concerted effort to look at sort of rare models around here. It's actually in really, really nice condition. I mean, obviously, I prefer the Van den Pla, which is the sort of person I am, but this will do pretty nicely at its sub, won't it? That's really nice. We've got some marina action here as well. This one is having some work. That, I think, is the Series 3 Marina, I think they call them. Which is the one that I drove last year at the British Car Journey. That's the Series 2. Mark 2, sorry, not Series 2 they call them. 1.3 Special Saloon. Does it say the date of registration? No, well, it's 75, 76 on a P. Let's take a look at the back of it whilst we're here. That's in 1980. It's a very, very late marine. It's one of the very last ones. Because the Ital came out later on. I think the very first Itals were one of these, like this is. You see there's a big difference in the back of the car between the Mark II and the Mark III. And this is a very early van. I can't remember exactly what they called these. They didn't market them as a marina, they called something else. Yeah, we had also Austin and Morris badges. Austin 700 weight standard van, there you go. The 1.1 engine. Not the fastest one then. Not the fastest one at all. And then we've got some Maxis. Again, Mr. Partridge, a friend of mine, he owns a Maxi. I've driven that on my channel, 72, 1750. This is a really late one. This is a Maxi 2. They came out in 1980. This has got an 8122 plate. They finished production, I think, in the middle of 81. Just the L, because by this stage all Maxis had the 1750 engine. Another Maxi 2L. In quite a bright colour, this one. W service will be 80 or 81. And there's a nice brochure there. Very spacious cars for their size, actually. They're smaller than a Peugeot 207. And then I think this is Vermilion, this one. This is a rod change car. Very late one, actually. 1979 to 80 on a V. It's probably a 1750 as well. It is just a plain 1750 base model. Then we've got the West Britain's All Sorts Club. Yeah, they've certainly got all sorts of things. This is Daimler. I forget what these are called. Is it like a Conquest or something? Maybe I'll be able to have a look when those gentlemen have moved away from the information sheet. All sorts as in, yes, that kind of all sorts. Especially happy, these people, don't they? I don't quite know. They've obviously been having too much sugar. Austin A35, yeah, large rear window, A35. Don't exactly know what year that one is. Right, we'll walk around very carefully so we don't go over the sort of fence there. Ah, you've Conquest Century. Gosh, I was actually kind of right about what it is. I thought it was a Conquest. I don't know what year, sort of mid-50s, I imagine. We've got an MGB GT, which looks significantly less modified than one of the similar age that I drove earlier this year. That 4.6 V8 one was insane. I think actually I prefer this Mark II Cavalier convertible. They weren't marketed very long. I think they're all 1.8s. This has got the final facelift front end on it, so date probably from about 1987. More happy sugar-filled people. That looks very nice. Got rev count and everything. The Mark II Cavalier that I drove, which was a 1983 1600L Auto, was a lot less basic than this. This is Fantastic. Oh, it's even been modified by Bleidenstein. That will fly. Probably got as much power as an SRA 130. What on earth is that? Is that for the stereo? It is. It's a Pioneer. Look at the cassette storage down there. Amazing. I love the cassette storage solutions that people have here. And we've got a Mark V Fiesta. I think this is a big gear. It's got a leather interior. I really like this. I mean, don't know how I feel about these wheels. I mean, I give me a nice little standard gear on any day, but it still looks okay. 2001 to 2, so late for one of these. Ooh, and yes, a beige leather interior before Puma gear leader. I think I approve, viewers. I just, maybe I don't know about that spoiler, but you know, the rest of it's pretty good. And then we've got a V6 Clio from 2002. Absolutely mad car, engines in the back, walls of mid. Maybe like a sort of spiritual successor in a way to the Renault Sport Spider and the Renault 5 Turbo 2 from the 80s, which was a Sport Spider in the previous part. Wonderful. Next we've got the Austin Counties Car Club stand here. One good thing about the Counties cars is they actually do have the name of the model on the front, generally. This one doesn't it? Oh, it's an A40 Somerset, okay. That makes sense. It's a 1954. This is another A40 Somerset. This is in slightly less good condition. 1953, and then it had an accident damaging the front wing. We've got like stuff growing in this. That's really crazy. The car is now available for restoration, so somebody offering that for sale, along with a spares car. I'm not that brave, viewers, so I won't be doing that myself, but there we go. There's a restoration show after all. A couple of J40s. These were made for an incredibly long time. I think in 1971 they finished production. You see, that's a really nice one, and that one needs a bit of work. Austin 16 Saloon. What year is this one? It's 1946. We could need some doors, but apart from that, that looks ready to go. Excellent. And we've got some faster cars here. Is this an A35 that's been modified for competition or something? It might even be an A30 actually. Let's look at the rear window again. Small rear window, that's an A30. With these, it's even more difficult to tell the A30 and A35 apart because you haven't got the rear window to sort of look at. I think that's an A35 because of the grille, but I could be wrong. Let's have a look at this other one here and see if we're actually... Oh yeah, small rear windows, A30. The grille's a bit different. Fortunately, I won't be able to the A30, A35 Rally because that's what I'm booked in for the Enfield patented motoring, but never mind. I wonder if this is a really late van, because we made it in 68. I don't know. Answers in the comments section below. Goodness me, you've got Renault GTA here. Actually, it's got the Alpine logo on it, so maybe it has an Alpine badge front, maybe it doesn't. It's very nice though. In this country, they weren't called Alpine because of problems with the Sunbeam Alpine. So Alpine GTA 2.5 turbo, genuine conversion. Wow, so it's based on an early turbo built in 85 and sent to Germany for conversion. And then read the plates about 91, the car could even be registered later than that. Autohaus Pan-Henrich GmbH. Porsche 356. If that's going to be worth a fair bit of money, I better stay away from that. Don't want to get in any trouble, viewers, not that I'm in trouble already. Next we've got the Hillman Owners Club. Super Mix convertible. It's quite nice, viewers. A bit of trim work and things done on this. Apparently these got an all synchro mesh gearbox, so some had a column change. And we've got a later Super mix here. Estate 1965 on a C. Having a bit of a polish there. And then we've got a comma. Comma Cobb, I think this is. Not very good on the names of British group cars, viewers. I get confused about them. Yeah, comma Cobb, I believe, which was based on the 50s Bix, I believe. Next, the Morris register for the Midlands. This looks like a Morris 8 to me. Yeah. And it's for sale, 7995. Mr. Bill from the Fuel Power Channel says this could be yours. So they obviously deal in quite old Morrises. It's 1948 Series E. Very similar to the last one, but of course it had a different front end of Series E. And was a car that was proceeding with minor, same engine actually. Side valve. Series E Tourer. They made them sort of pre and post war. I don't know how you tell the difference between them. This one doesn't seem to have an information sheet, so I don't know. Who knows? And we've got something. Ooh. Bullnose Cowley. The tax disc says expiring 1927. This means this is a 26. I don't know. Yes, oh my gosh, it's actually right. Dear me, viewers. Not all the information on this channel is incorrect. That's a member celebration, isn't it? The MG front wheel drive register. Very nice MG Metro 1300 here. 1980-384 plate. Some interior work. Looks like it's not trip over anything, viewers, because that would be terribly embarrassing. Yes, a Mark 1 MG Metro. This is a Mark 2. Quite a late one, 88 to 89. Let's have a look at the information sheet. 88, this one. Again, it's a 1300, it's not a turbo. That is in beautiful condition though. Superb. Also got MG Montego turbo. Quite an early one. They came out in 1984. This is late 84 or early 85 on a B. I think the turbos were released in 85, so it must be one of the earliest ones. Bit of work to do on that one. Actually, for an old Montego, it doesn't look too bad. The wheel arches have had some attention in the past, eh? And then we've got an early Metro here, very early one. Portsmouth plate, be a higher spec Metro actually with that front end. Yeah, RV was an old. Terribly sorry about that, viewers. Well, I got my other camera with me. Battery on that other one is not very good, and it's died. So very early Metro, 1980 to 81 plate, registered in Portsmouth. It's also the same registration area where I grew up. So RV cars. I mean, my parents' first car that I remember was LRV 46Y. It was a Volkswagen Jetta. This is a 1.3S, so it was a sporty model. And then the contrast between that and this, very, very late Rover 114 SLI. This will be 97, 98. The production of these finished in December 97, although quite a few registered in 98 as well. Wonderful specification. I don't know if the SLIs originally would have come with leather interior. I thought that was an option on the GSI, but I don't know. Still got windy windows in there though. And then, obviously this is a very early Metro 2, 80 to 81 registration. Mini Metro until 1982, because they're trying to work out whether they could get away with calling it the Metro because of Metro Camel Wayman. But that is rather good. Also rather good are these Rover Tomcats. This is the Rover Coupe Owners Club stand. This is the 1.8 VVC engine. This was one of the later ones. I think they were just called a Rover 1.8 Coupe at this stage rather than a Rover like 200 Coupe or anything. Because for the late coupe that I drove, which is a 97, 98, I think also on an R, in 2021, which is called a 1.6 coupe. This is the fancier model with the 143 brake horsepower 1.8 engine. And then this is an early one. This is sort of before the facelift that occurred in about 93, so it's got no grille on it. I forget the name of this colour. I think it's Caribbean, maybe not TT blue. And this one looks very purposeful, very late one, 1999, so last year they made these actually. I would like to say that's the VVC model, but I'm not entirely sure. Let's have a look at this other one over here. Sorry, until the radio unit, the phone off and stop that sort of thing happening. Again, this is one of the later ones on an R, so 97, 98. The bonnet's not open, so I can't tell you particularly, but one thing I've just noticed, and I like this very much, we have a very nice interior. I thought it was beige, it's grey, so I'll have to leave that for a second and go on to I spoke too soon, viewers. I thought there weren't any of these here. 1988 Rover 216 EFI Vanden Plas with a lovely leather interior. It was a grey one, similar. It's automatic. I mean, this is me, absolutely. This is the sort of car that I would have. This is the ideal Rover SD3 for me. Fantastic. Wow. They have some interesting cars here on the Classic Car Group stand, like this 1989 Escort Mark IV XR3i Cabriolet. Not sure quite what's happening with this one, but that is fantastic. These were everywhere, weren't they? And something I'm overjoyed to see, 1990 Saab 9000 Carlson. I've actually driven one of these. Would you believe that? It's an 88. This one is a bit later. The facelifts on these are so utterly confusing, but I'm not even going to say anything about that. I just say that this is a 1990, wonder if it was a black 88. They're quite fast. Talking earlier about Rover 100s and Metros, this is a Metro GTI. It's a 1990, it's an early one. In other markets it would have been called the Rover 100, but over here it was called a Metro. And of course, yes, a Vanden Plas. This would be a 1500, I think. It's very similar to the one that I drove earlier this month, but it's a 78, it's a little bit later, and this one doesn't have a vinyl roof, but otherwise it's very similar. They're actually really nice cars to drive, these. Then the DeLorean DMC-12. I don't see a flux capacitor anywhere, viewers. Another Morris H Series E. Must be sort of the year of the Morris H Series E. It's like got an information sheet on it, viewers. That's in 46, I guess it's immediately post-war. 1997 Peugeot 306 Cabriolet. 2-litre engine with automatic transmission. Very sort of late 90s colour, isn't it? In the bright yellow. And then this amazing 1990 Ford Escort Popular, the base spec for the Mark V Escort when it was launched. Obviously, the Mark V B came out a little bit later, that corrected a lot of the problems that people said were present when these first came out. And we've got 1979 Allegro in Vermilion. It's 1300 Super. That is interesting too, but I know what I prefer. The Vanden Plas is my favourite. Right, that is enough for now. Thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave a comment below, and we shall see you again in the next part for some more incorrect information.